It's a 3-star fight. Let's just move on to the main event. I don't know why I'm coughing. This is so stupid. Hold on. You're watching The Fight Guy. I'm Guy, and UFC Baku's kicking off in Azerbaijan. That's just north of Iran. If you don't know, now you know. Perfect time to be doing a UFC fight there, I suppose. But we're getting Rafael Fiziev. He's fighting Manuel Torres on the White House lawn. Just kidding. It's going to be a badass fight. I'm going to be grading every single one of these fights on a 5-star scale, letting you know whether or not it's a good idea to go to the bathroom before that fight starts, or if it's a fight that you can miss. I don't believe we're going to get any women's fights on this card. I'm stoked. A lot of great matchups. I'm going to be giving you my best notes, my best advice, my tips, my predictions for every single one of these fights, every single one of these fighters. And typically, even if I get the outcome wrong, if I pick the wrong winner, I pick the wrong underdog, whatever, the fight typically goes exactly how I say it's going to go on this video breakdown. So if you're here, don't go anywhere. We're going to break down every single fight on this card, grading it on a scale of 1 to 5, starting with this first fight on the early prelims, and that is 2 UFC debuts in the welterweight division. Tahir Abdullayev is taking on Jefferson Nascimento. We'll start with Jefferson Nascimento. UFC debut, like I mentioned, he's finished 8 of his 13 wins. Obviously, not only has he never lost, he's never been finished in his pro career. He is going into enemy territory to fight a hometown guy going by the name Tahir. Tahir, 17 of his 19 wins or finishes, I believe. 10 come by knockout. 7 come by submission, and he's only been finished 1 time in the form of submission. So this is going to be a fun fight. I'm going to rate it 2.5 stars. All right, to start off the card, just because we haven't seen either of these guys before in the UFC. They've worked their way in other feeder leagues, like I believe Jefferson was in the LFA, and Tahir, where was he? I'm losing a train of thought. Georgian Fighting Lead, New Generation Fighting, Bet City, Ural, UAE Warriors. So I'm a little bit concerned with Tahir's strength of competition. Nonetheless, this should be a fun fight, not the funnest fight. 2.5 stars. I'm picking Tahir to get the knockout win. And we move on to the next fight, bantamweight fight. One of my highest graded fights on the card. I'll just go ahead and say it now. I gave this one 4 stars. Beksat Almakhan is taking on Gene Matsumoto in the bantamweight division. This is a very fun fight. I'm a big Gene Matsumoto fan. I'm not a huge Gene Matsumoto fan. I haven't followed him for years and whatnot, but ever since his first fight in the UFC, I said this kid is going places, and no matter how this fight ends, this kid's going places. He showed us his grappling ability. He's not perfect on the feet, but he's got some great striking. He's got some great takedowns against the cage, great control. Submission threat is as good as any other in the bantamweight division. I might swallow that, but I'm going to stick with it for now. Beksat Almakhan, 10 of his 12 wins come by knockout, I believe. Let's verify that live. Yeah, 12-3, 10 knockout wins, 1 submission win, and he's been submitted once. Did he fight Ilya Tapiria's brother, Alexandre Tapiria, in his last fight? He sure did, in a fight where he went 3 rounds and lost via decision. So he's fought some good strength of schedule. Beksat Almakhan, he's from Kazakhstan, so he's got a good grappling base. He's got 10 knockout wins on the feet. He could strike. He hasn't knocked somebody out in a little while. I think it's been a couple years. Double check that real quick. Brad Katona. Okay, May of last year. Okay, Brad Katona, though. Brad Katona. That's his only knockout in the UFC. Gene Matsumoto almost gave Farid Basharat his only loss. Almost took that O from him, and my page isn't loading. But we're going to refresh that, and it's going to be fine. Gene Matsumoto almost took Farid Basharat's only 0 from him. We got no fucking connection, but we're going to keep going. Farid Basharat won that fight via split decision. That showed me a lot from the 25, 26-year-old. I think he was 25 at the time. Gene Matsumoto, he's fought some strong competition in the UFC. He's got a chin on him, so he could take some hits. He's not had an easy way to start his career. I'm going to go with him to get the win over Azamat here. Beksat here, sorry, fucking webpage crashed out on me, but we're going to stick and move. Give me Gene Matsumoto to win a decision here. I think he'll win all 3 rounds against Beksat. Maybe two rounds. Maybe Bexat lands some hard shots in the first round, and then Gene kind of gets his game plan moving. Maybe he doesn't get his takedowns until the second and third rounds. But I am confident Gene will get this to the ground in some way, shape, or form. Maybe he starts with dragging Bexat along the cage for a minute or two to kind of drag him down. But I do see Gene finding a way to bring this to the canvas. But until then, I think he's going to have some trouble on the feet. And if he doesn't shoot any takedowns at all, that should be a telling sign. Something's going wrong in his game plan, and live bet on Bexat to win that fight. But the pick here is Gene Matsumoto to win via decision. We move on. Whoa. To the next fight. Welterweight fight, another one. Danny Donchenko is taking on Theodore Berggren. All right, Berggren fighting out of Sweden. He's making his UFC debut here. All of his wins come via finish. All 8 of his wins, I think 5 via knockout, 3 via submission. His weakness is going the distance. Danny Donchenko, he is just like a human wrecking ball. You guys have seen him in the Ultimate Fighter finalist, I think, in 2024. Pretty badass guy. Was it 24 or 25? It was 25. Yeah, 25. There we go. Got to correct myself. He's never been finished. Danny's got 9 knockout wins, 2 submissions. The rest have all went the distance. And I think he's just got more weapons to win this fight. Maybe, yeah. I mean, maybe his jiu-jitsu's not as good as Theodore's on the ground, maybe, but I don't see that being as big of a differential in an MMA fight. I think Danny deals good ground and pound when he's in top position. I think he's got a submission threat, but he's not always looking for it. And he's just got heavy concrete hands. Couple fights in the UFC, we already kind of know what we're expecting. That win over Morano, he could have looked better. A lot of people were criticizing it, but you know, at the end of the day, he got the job done. And styles make fights, and you got to treat every single opponent like they're Ilya Topuria. So give me Danny Donchenko to win this fight. I think he'll win it via decision if it goes that far, but I just got a feeling we're not going to see the distance. So give me Danny Donchenko to win this fight via finish. We'll move on to the next fight, a featherweight fight. And what did I rate that Danny Donchenko fight? 2.5 stars. Danny Donchenko, Theodore Berggren, 2.5 stars, just because I don't know how Theodore is going to look. I don't know, if he just breezes right through Theodore, how much can you accredit that to Danny's game? Like, how many questions is that going to answer for us? Just because Theodore is not a proven prospect. This is his first fight in the UFC, so 2.5 stars for that fight. Now we move on to the next fight. Khan Ofli's taking on Javier Reyes. Featherweight fight, badass fight, fun fight. Javier Reyes, I believe, is he the one that fought Babyface in the Contender Series? No, he's not. I swear I thought he was. Or am I thinking of another? Maybe it's a Venezuelan. Maybe somebody can help me out here in the comments. Maybe I'm stuck there. Javier Reyes, Khan Ofli. This is a fun fight. I'm gonna give it 3 stars just to get that out of the way. 3 stars. We've seen both these guys in the UFC before. We'll start with Javier Reyes. He's a little fucking reckless, and I love it. He's 23-5. 11 of his 23 wins are knockout wins, and 8 of those are via submission. So he's only won 4 fights that went the distance. He's been finished 3 times, lost 2 fights that went the distance. Both of his fights, if you want to count as Contender Series fights so far, round 1 knockout finishes in the UFC. I'm going to stick with Javier Reyes. There's something in his blood. There's something in the water he's drinking. There's something in his fucking gloves. I don't know what it is. All of them, maybe. And that's going to be enough for him to put Khan Ofli down, I believe. Ofli, 14-4. He's coming off of 2 wins in the UFC, 2025, 2026 against Ricardo Ramos and Yisha. Lost to Muhammad Naimov and Myron Santos in the Ultimate Fighter finale. That's right. Ofli's awfully good. I guess you could say that. I don't know, what do I struggle with Ofli? He's looked better in his last couple fights, but he just didn't look like he was all there against the Santos and Muhammad in the grappling. So typically these Australians have decent defensive jiu-jitsu. They have good use of their levers, of their butterfly hooks, a good ability to just use these small details to kind of get up against the cage or get up on their feet. But typically not a whole lot of offensive jiu-jitsu with these Australian fighters. I don't think that's going to be much of a factor against Javier Reyes. I think this fight is going to be fought on the feet 99% of the time, standing up in the middle. And I'm not saying that's 99% of 15 minutes. could be 99% of 1 minute. I think that's all Javier Reyes needs. I'm going to pick him to win this fight. It might be a bit of a stretch here. Might be a little bit too confident putting all my chips on Reyes here, but I just don't see Ofli having a lot of tools to deal with the pressure and the power that Reyes is going to put on him. So give me Reyes to win this fight via knockout. Like I said, that's a 3-star fight. I grade it 3 stars. We'll move on to the next fight, a middleweight fight. Nursultan Ruziboev is taking on Andre Pulyaev. Middleweight fight. We'll start with Nursultan Ruziboev. He has had a lot of pro fights, man. 45, 46, 47 pro fights, 13 knockouts, only been knocked out once, 20 submissions, only been submitted once. He's won 4 in his last 5. Some decent fucking wins here, decent opponents at that. He's knocked out Bruno Ferreira? I don't know why that's just washed out of the back of my mind. I completely forgot about that. He's knocked out Cedric Dumas, went the decision with Buckley, beat Eric McConaughey, who's actually a decent prospect that the UFC just signed on a whim, and Dustin Stolfus, who's got a fight in Serbia coming up, went the decision, beat him last May. We haven't seen him in over a year, and we get him now. Nursultan Ruziboev, he's a knockout artist that could also submit. He's a knockout artist married to a submission artist and the same guy. He likes to go for the finish. He fights reckless. He's big. He's lengthy. He could do it all. Andre Pulyaev, though, he is coming off of a loss to Teba Gauchier, who a lot of people expected Gauchier to knock him out. So Pulyaev hung in there a lot longer than people anticipated. Before that, he knocked out Nick Klein, who I believe is dating Paige Van Zandt. So, there's got to be some street cred dealt out with that. Brought Chris Duncan to a decision, which he also lost. Andre Pulyaev is better than his record shows. He's better than 10-4. 6 of those 10 wins come by knockout and 2 by decision. But your fucking 10-4 doesn't hold a fucking candle on a shit stick to Nursultan Ruziboev's 36-9. So give me Nursultan Ruziboev. He's a little bit older. I think he's used to being taller than his opponents, like a little bigger, but his reach he doesn't have the reach advantage in this one. It's going to be a little bit more balanced fight on the feet than you would expect. But I'm going to go with Ruziboev here. I would not be shocked if we saw an upset. I don't know why. I just got a feeling like Ruziboev's been in there a lot. He's taken a lot of damage. A little bit of pressure. He's fighting close to home. Pulyaev could go in there, keep it on the feet. Maybe he sticks Ruziboev early and just shuts down any takedown attempts. Just does not accept any kind of grappling or clinch against the cage. Keeps it separated. I think he might be able to finish Ruziboev. But the official pick here is going to be Nursultan to win this by knockout. This is a 3-star fight. You don't want to miss this one. It's a good fight. 3 stars is it's a good rating. 3 stars is good. Rarely are you ever going to see a 5-star rating from me. So stay tuned when you do. But yeah, 3-star fights, they're good. 2.5 stars and under, consider using the bathroom. We move on to a light heavyweight fight. Speaking of 2.5 stars or lower, Abdul Rahman Yakhyaev is taking on Julius Walker. A light heavyweight bout here. Julius Walker, juice box. I tried when he first got into the UFC. The dude kind of, we were going to do a meet and greet. He was new in the UFC. He was interacting with a lot of fans. He was excited, DMing, a lot of guys tagging him. I actually was going out to Vegas the week after his UFC debut. He was going out there and he stood me up. So Julius Walker, fuck you if you see this, man. I gave you plenty of time too. Honestly, just, you shouldn't be a douchebag. You shouldn't make this personal. All emotions aside, I am picking Abdul Rahman Yakhyaev to win this fight, even if it wasn't Julius Walker. 3 fights, if you want to count Dana White Contender Series, 3 straight first-round finishes. All in his last 5 fights, first-round finishes. He's 9-0, 3 by knockout, 5 by submission, only been the distance 1 time. He's taken on Julius Walker, who Julius Walker's got about the same experience in the UFC, pretty much, coming off of a loss to Dustin Jacoby. He's lost to Alonzo Menafield on his UFC debut, which I don't know if he looked better than we thought, or Menafield just looked really shit and just kind of made Julius Walker look better. His only win is against Rafael Fiziev, who's not won a fight in the UFC. He's 0-4, so I'm expecting Julius Walker to get fucking slept in the first round, and I'm going to be protesting this fight if it ends any other way. This is a 2-star fight. However, if you're going to use the bathroom for this fight, don't go until the second round, because there might not be a second round. So this might be one of those ones that's just over so fast. then you can go to the bathroom anyways because there's going to be a gap fill that Paramount Plus has to fill. So, Abdulrahman Yakhyaev is absolutely going to walk through Julius Walker here. I'd be shocked if Julius Walker pulled off an upset here because I don't think he's talented. He needs to go back to college and play basketball. Next fight, last fight on the fucking prelims. Farman Hasanov taking on Eric Nolan. I'll tell you what. This is a 2.5-star fight. I don't know why it's headlining the prelims. Farman Hasanov is making his UFC debut. He's a hometown guy from Azerbaijan. I'm thinking he's probably going to knock Eric Nolan out. So that might be my pick. I might just change my pick. I was going with Eric Nolan, but I think I'm going to pick Farman Hasanov now. I think I'm going to swap my pick as I'm just going through this. Let's hit Eric Nolan real quick. Eric Nolan, 8-4. 4 of his 8 wins come by knockout, 2 by submission, and he's been submitted 2 times. Speaking of being submitted, he's coming off of a submission loss in August of last year to Khamzat Chimaev's training partner, Basinger Suzakarev, the dude that looks like a fucking vampire. Yeah, Eric Nolan, that was in middleweight. I should point that out. That was a middleweight fight, I believe. So I think Eric Nolan's making the cut down to welterweight now. So that does worry me a little bit. I think it's going to make him a little bit more chinny. So I think that's why I'm swapping my pick to Farman here. Yeah, you just don't know. You don't know how Eric's going to look coming down a weight class, fighting a guy in his home country, his home territory, who's just kind of been on a little tear in LFA, I believe. We're going to go with Farman to get this done via knockout, but I honestly don't care how this fight ends. Eric Nolan could beat the guy who's never won a fight in the UFC before. Big whoop. Let's move on. That's what did I say? I say that was a 2.5-star fight. Did I say that was a 2.5? It's a 2.5-star fight. If you got to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom in this fight. Even if it ends in a finish, it's a 2.5-star. Move on. First fight on the main card. Abus Magomedov's taking on Michel Oleksiejczuk. Michel Oleksiejczuk, let me zoom down and get this in pan for you guys. Oh. There we go. Michel Oleksiejczuk, 3-fight winning streak since joining the Fight Nerds. Coincidence? I think not. 3-0 since 3-fight win streak since joining the Fight Nerds. He's pale and he's white. Keep that in mind. It's going to make sense in a few minutes. His recklessness tends to put him in danger. I think he's better on the ground than he's looked in the past, but when you're reckless, you go in for the finish, you expend a lot of energy, you sit in Kevin Holland's guard, and you get armbarred. That's the kind of shit you can expect to see from Michel Oleksiejczuk. Now, that was pre-Fight Nerd Oleksiejczuk. So, he's made a little bit less of the reckless moves that get him put in positions where there's just no net positive. He's done better with his fight IQ, keeping the fight where he's good at fighting. He's got hands with fucking Gaethje's gloves that he used on the White House. Same gloves Michel Oleksiejczuk uses because this motherfucker's got concrete every time he hits. Abus Magomedov. Now, this is why I said keep in mind. Michel Oleksiejczuk, Polish, pale, white. Abus Magomedov. His kryptonite, all right, he's 2 in his last 5. Those 2 losses come to Baralho and Pfeiffer. I even believe right before the Baralho loss, he got knocked out by Sean Strickland. So he's really 3 in his last 6. Let's go ahead and say that. He's been knocked out by Strickland. He's been submitted by Pfeiffer. What? Pale white guys. Just ultimate fucking kryptonite for Abus Magomedov. I know what you're thinking. He's kind of a pale white guy himself. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense. Don't think too much into it. Magomedov, Russian, Dagestani last name, German, representing Germany. Don't think about it too much. You're going to fuck your brain up. Michel Oleksiejczuk's going to knock Abus Magomedov out in the second round. That's the pick here. And this is a 3-star fight, so you don't want to miss this one. This is a fun one. Actually excited to see who wins this one. Could really put some momentum in their career. Same with the next fight. This is a banger fight. We'll move on to a middleweight bout here. Ikram Aliskerov is taking on Bruno Ferreira. Middleweight fight. We'll start with Bruno Ferreira. Bruno 15-3. His only 3 losses. Abus Magomedov, Gregory Rodriguez, and Nursultan Ruziboev, who I just forgot about a couple fights ago. But Bruno Ferreira, he's a killer, be killed guy. Only 1 fight in his last 5 have went the decision. I don't think a single other fight besides his Marvin Vettori fight in the UFC went to decision. He's been to a 3rd round 1 time before that. Bruno Ferreira, he's driving 100 miles an hour. He wants to play a game of chicken with you. Just depends what kind of car the other guy's driving. And in this fight, Ikram Aliskerov is driving a pretty fucking big truck. I'm going to go with Ikram to win this. I think he's going to knock Bruno Ferreira out, but it really is a fucking coin flip. He's got a 4-inch reach advantage. I think he might be able to take advantage of here. But Bruno Ferreira is really good at closing the gap and just landing an overhand, a fucking hook out of nowhere, just a devastating blow to shut your lights off. Ikram has done a lot of the same things. 17-2, 7 of those 17 wins come by knockout, 5 by submission. His only loss in the UFC in his last 5 fights comes to Robert Whittaker in Abu Dhabi, I believe. So that was a little bit of a tough sell losing at home like that. But we're going to go with Ikram to win this. Closer to home. I think he's going to... I think he's just gotten better and better and better, and he's going to continue to get better and better and better. And that Whittaker loss ages well. Doesn't look bad on your resume. I'd rather you have that Whittaker loss than have 3 wins against fucking pillow fighters. It shows us, you went in there, you tasted defeat, you tasted what it feels like to get knocked out. Typically what you do to a lot of opponents. So give me Ikram to get the knockout here in the first round. If not, give me Bruno to get the knockout in the first round. It's ending in the first round, and my pick's going to be with the Russian here. That, like I said, that's a 3.5-star fight. This is a 3.5-star fight, half a star better than most of the ones on the prelims, with the exception of the Gene Matsumoto fight. You don't want to miss that one. We'll move on to the next fight. Maybe my most anticipated fight on the entire card, and it should be yours as well. Flyweight fight. Asu Almabayev is taking on Charles Johnson. This fight has some weight to it. This fight really means something. I'm rooting for Charles Johnson to get it done here. I want him to get the finish. I do think if this goes to decision, he could win this fight via decision. Same with Almabayev. Both of these guys have the tools. They have the experience to go 3 rounds and win the decision here against each other. But Charles Johnson, 3 in his last 5. Let's look at this win against Kavanagh. He's knocked out Kavanagh, who just embarrassed Moreno in his hometown. He's beaten Sumadaraji. He's beaten Bruno Silva. So he's lost to Alex Perez. Okay, Alex Perez caught him. You got to give him that. Ramir Tamiryov. Okay. Charles Johnson is the only fighter in the flyweight division to have wins over Joshua Van and Kavanagh individually and together, which is an impressive stat. Alone should put him in the top 10, but I wanted to do a video going over the AI rankings. We'll get there when we get there. But Asu Almabayev is going to be a little bit of a problem. He's a decision machine. He's got good wrestling. Now, in his loss against Manuel Cape, it's an instance I want to look at here. In his loss against Manuel Cape, he had 6 failed takedown attempts. I am fully expecting 3, maybe 3.5, over 3.5 takedowns in the first round. Charles Johnson is going to have to defend some of these, obviously. I think he can get taken down once, but he's pretty good at getting back up. So even if you take him down 6 times, Charles Johnson's going to get up 6 times. But I want to see him defend a couple of these first takedowns to kind of halt the volume of the takedowns in the fight. I think he's a good counter striker. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage here. He's definitely going to land some shots on Asu Almabayev, so maybe we'll get a chin chest here. Maybe we'll get to see exactly what Almabayev's made out of, because I think Charles is fully capable of dragging him into hell in the later round, I should say, in round 3. I'm going to go with Charles Johnson to win this fight. I think he could knock out Asu Almabayev. I think he could win a decision. When it goes on the ground, that's when I start to get a little bit worried. But even Johnson's got some crafty submissions. He's got really long limbs. He is, 5 inches taller than Asu, and he's got 5 inches of reach on his wingspan. So those are levers. Those are good. It's good use in the grappling game when you're on the ground, when you're on your back, when you're on the hip, when you're against the cage. I'm going to go with Charles Johnson to pull off the upset here, and we'll move on to the next fight, a lightweight fight. Nazim Sadykhov is taking on Matthias Camilo, who has only had 1 fight in the UFC after he's had 2 fights in the UFC, excuse me. I thought he had a Contender Series fight. That's incorrect. They signed him on short notice to fight against Gabe Green? My page crashed again. No, we didn't. Come on, Matthias Camilo. Matthias Camilo, 10-3. Oh my God. What is going on? 10-3. 4 of his 10 wins come by knockout. 2 come by submission, but he's been submitted 3 times. Nazim Sadykhov, I believe he lost the last time he fought in Azerbaijan, or he came back to win like a... No, he came back and won that fight. That's right. He was getting his ass beat, I think. Yeah, Hill versus Roundtree came back and knocked out Nicholas Motta. That's right. He lost to Fiziev in the second round via knockout in December, which does not age well because Ziam just got embarrassed a couple weeks ago. I'm going to go with Nazim Sadykhov to win this. He's actually very impressive, finishing almost all 11 of his wins, 8 by knockout. He's got all the tools you need. He's kind of like one of those little freaks of nature. I think he's meant to be a fighter. And I think he's going to prove it tomorrow. He's going to get a knockout win over Matheus Camilo. And if he doesn't knock him out, he's going to get the rear naked choke follow-up finish on the ground. So watch it. Watch it. Next fight, co-main event. Wait. Before we go to the next fight, I got to give my ratings. Asu Almabayev. I fucked that one up. That's a 4-star fight. Asu Almabayev, Charles Johnson, 4 stars. Only 2 4-star fights on the card. That's one of them. Nazim Sadykhov. That's a 3-star fight. Don't want to miss him. You don't want to miss him. Now we go to the co-main event. Shara Magomedov taking on Michel Pereira. Little bit of some flustering going on in the face-offs. Shara Magomedov clinched up with Michel Pereira, pulled his head down. Just a little sign of dominance from the one-eyed pirate here. Michel Pereira, I'm not going to root for him. I'm not going to pick him to win this fight. Wouldn't be surprised if he does win this fight. Fights out of Extreme. Trains with Sean Strickland. 32-14. 11 of those 32 wins come by knockout and 9 via submission. So his other 12 wins come by decision wins. He's lost 3 in his last 5. His only wins are against Ihor Pateria in 2024 and Zachary Reese by a split decision, who also fights at his gym. Don't like that. Fuck this guy. Give me Shara. Give me the one-eyed fucking pirate to knock him out, dude. Fuck Michel Pereira. Yeah, fuck, I mean, 12 of his 16 wins come by knockout. He hasn't knocked anybody out since 2024. I think he could do it. I mean, he did bring Berryud to a decision. That's a bad look. He's got one eye. I got a feeling Michel Pereira is going to win this fight, but I'm going to pick Shara Magomedov to get the knockout anyways, because fuck Michel Pereira. It's a, what did I rate this fight? 3. It's a 3-star fight. Let's just move on to the main event. I don't know why I'm coughing. This is so stupid. Hold on. All right, let's get this main event wrapped up. That was a 3-star fight. If I didn't say so, let me repeat it again. Shara Magomedov, Michel Pereira, 3 stars. Main event, Rafael Fiziev, Manuel Torres. This is a banger of a fight in the lightweight division. A lot of people counting Fiziev out. A lot of people saying Fiziev looks more like a 145-pounder. Well, we're about to find the fuck out, because Manuel Torres has only seen 1 decision his whole entire career. Knocked out 2 of the best white unk lightweights, being Drew Dober and Grant Dawson. He's won 6 of 7 UFC fights, 5 by knockout and a submission. He's been outside of the first round 1 fucking time. And you're fighting Fiziev 5 rounds in Fiziev's town, where Fiziev looked like a fucking ninja against Ignacio Bahamondes. Now, Fiziev has lost 4 fights in his last 5. It's a bit of a tough sell here, but when you look at some of these fucking opponents, how do you take it against him? I mean, he beat Ignacio Bahamondes on a streak. Dangerous ninja. Everybody was behind this kid. Derailed him. He's fought Justin Gaethje twice in those last 5 fights. His last fight is a knockout loss in this year against Mauricio Ofli, which ages pretty fucking good. And he was knocked out by Gamrot, which we don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that one. I'm going to go with Fiziev to win this fight. He's more skilled. The guy's fucking crazy on the feet. Like, he can go toe-to-toe with Justin Gaethje, I believe, if his chin was as retarded as Justin Gaethje's. He's almost like a Middle Eastern Justin Gaethje. Almost. I don't know how to describe Fiziev, but he's tough. He can take a lot of damage. I think he's going to go out there and just perform. I don't know how to describe. It's just this feeling that I have. Even without the feeling, when I look at this fight on paper, his losses to Gaethje and his last loss to Ruffy is aging well. His win over Bahamondes is one of the most dominant. I mean, he fucked that kid up bad, had him swimming in his own blood. That was the last time he fought in Azerbaijan. I'm going to go with Fiziev here. I think he's a more technical striker. You know, I think he's going to get cracked. I think Manuel Torres is going to, obviously, he's finished most of his fights in the first fucking round. Obviously, he's going to hurt Fiziev. Obviously, he's going to put the pressure on Fiziev in the first round. And if he doesn't, I'm worried for Torres fans because this guy hasn't been out of the first round much against somebody who's used to fighting decisions, who's used to fighting technical, skilled decisions. I'm going to go with Fiziev here to get the late knockout. I think he'll get a knockout in like rounds 4 or 5. I think he's just going to degrade Manuel Torres round after round after round. Maybe Torres has a really good rounds 1 and 2, but I just kind of see him fading. That's how I see this fight going. I don't see a lot of grappling exchanges this fight. I see some moments in this fight where maybe it's a little bit boring because guys are trying to get a read and they're throwing a lot of feints and we're not getting a lot of reactions, but when it clicks, it will click. I could watch 19 minutes of crickets this fight for one spectacular knockout and in the end of that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be one of those fights, so I think Fiziev's going to bring Torres into deep waters. Torres thinking he deserves a title shot against a Rafael Fiziev who's won one fight in his last 5 is hilarious. I think he saw the AI rankings, and the AI rankings moved him up from like 15 to 13, and it all went to Manuel Torres' head or whatever. So, yeah, fuck that. Fuck that energy. Give me Rafael Fiziev to embarrass this guy. This is a 4-star fight. You don't want to miss it. There's 3 4-star fights on this card. Out of the fights you don't want to miss, Rafael Fiziev, Manuel Torres, obviously. Charles Johnson, Asu Almabayev, obviously. And the second fight on the card, Gene Matsumoto, Bekset Almakhan. Best 3 fights on the card. You don't want to miss those. No female fights. Most of the other fights are 3 stars or higher. Go through the video. If you missed any, go back, click, remind yourselves which ones you can go to the bathroom for. But those are my full card predictions for UFC Baku. Thank you so much for watching. And before you go, please leave me a thumbs up. All you got to do is you just get your mouse, you click one time, and it helps me a ton. Doesn't cost you anything. Drop a comment. Let me know if you agree with any of my picks. And we'll see where we end up this time tomorrow when the card's all wrapped up. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Peace.